We all remember LeBron James as the greatest basketball prospect we've seen in recent memory. As a teenager, LeBron shocked fans with his unreal athleticism, his amazing court vision, and his ability to dominate games in a way that just felt special. Because LeBron was so unique, so incredible, he was in turn hyped up so much that he was given the nickname King James before he ever played a minute in the NBA. And to this day, we have not seen a prospect that has even approached the level of attention LeBron got as a high school senior. But what if I told you there was a prospect in the 2018 draft that is generating similar levels of hype? The only thing is, those of us that live in the United States aren't exposed to that hype. Because the player I'm talking about, of course, is European super prospect Luka Doncic, a teenager who is dominating the second best basketball league in the world and could be next year's #1 pick. So what's up, guys? My name is Mike, and I'm just gonna get this out of the way right now. I'm not saying Luka is going to be the next LeBron. That would be absurd. What I am saying is, based on the exposure that Luka is getting, some are saying that he is the best basketball prospect since LeBron. And if you don't believe me, well, just watch this video and try to not get swept up in the Luka hype. In order to properly tell this story, I first need to emphasize to you just how ridiculous Luka Doncic has been as a pro so far. Because when comparing Luka to other prospects around the same age who play college basketball, we have to remember that the EuroLeague, the league that Luka plays in, is not filled with a bunch of 20-year-old college athletes. No, the EuroLeague is filled with grown men, many who have played for their country's national team and some who have spent some time in the NBA. That's why the EuroLeague is known as the second best basketball league in the world. And that's why what Luka Doncic has done so far has been so impressive. Because 2 seasons ago, as a 16-year-old, Luka played in his first professional game for Real Madrid, making him the youngest player in Real Madrid's history. And while other kids his age were juniors playing high school basketball, Luka managed to earn real playing time for a Real Madrid team that had 6 former NBA players on it. From the second he stepped foot on a professional basketball court, everyone could see that Luka was built from a different breed. Already, scouts were in awe of the tremendous skill set he possessed at such a young age, as playing against men who were 10, 15, and 20 years older than him, a young Luka was able to use his already sky-high basketball IQ to make plays and become an impact player for Real Madrid. And because he was able to compete at the highest levels of European basketball at such a young age, 16-year-old Luka began to be hyped as the next big basketball prospect to come out of Europe, which was normal. What wasn't normal was just how much Luka raised his game the next year. Because as a 17-year-old with just 1 season of experience under his belt, Luka went from proving that he belonged on a court with grown men to proving that he could dominate grown men. Yes, in his second pro season, everything began to come together. Standing as a 6'8" guard, Luka was able to use his size and court vision to read the defense and make incredible pass after incredible pass. He also showed that he was more than capable of scoring the ball, as again, he was able to use his size to his advantage around the rim, and he also began to demonstrate a smooth jump shot from deep. By the time his second professional season was over, Luka became the only player in the entire EuroLeague that season to average per 40-minute stats of 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists a game. Because of these stats and because of the ridiculous potential he had shown, scouts began to seriously wonder, should Luka Doncic be the #1 rated prospect in the entire 2018 NBA draft class? Yes, last year scouts were already talking about Luka as a potential #1 pick, which is why what Luka's done this season has been even more shocking. This year, Luka has ramped up his aggressiveness and begun to take control of the game like he had never done before. This has led to a huge jump in his stats, and right now, he currently ranks second in the entire entire EuroLeague with 20.5 points per game. He also ranks 6th in rebounds with 6.1 and is 13th in assists with 4.4. Again, he is an 18-year-old playing in the second best basketball league in the world, and he's currently putting up an MVP type stat line. So now that I've explained to you why Luka is deserving of your attention, it's time to go even further. So let's find out why many are saying that Luka is one of the best draft prospects that Europe has ever seen. Like many kids in the world today, a young Luka Doncic wanted to be just like his dad. This was very common. What wasn't common was that Luka's dad just happened to be a professional basketball player, which meant that growing up, Luka was always around a basketball court. Before his father's games, he could often be found sweeping the court, and at halftime, he made sure to get up as many shots as possible. This early exposure to basketball helped to ignite a lifelong passion in Luka's soul, a passion that might just give us one of the best international players we've ever seen. Because when it comes down to it, all-time greats usually need two things: a desire to be the best in the sport they are playing and a lot of natural talent. As we all know, Luka certainly had the desire to be the best, and thanks to his dad, the natural talent was there as well. Which is why at just 8 years old, people already began to see Luka as a childhood prodigy. At this age of 8, he was already playing for a 12-year-old club basketball team that competed at the highest level, and still he starred. His then coach would say he had this from the moment he was born. You can't learn this, what he's doing. It's impossible. From there, Luka continued to grow as a player, and he continued to dominate everyone he played against. By the time he was 13, he was so good that playing against other 13-year-olds was actually unfair. To show you what I mean, in the championship game of his 13-year-old club basketball season, Luka went off for 54 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists while bringing his team to a championship win. Because of this incredible performance and the buzz that was growing around him, Real Madrid signed Luka to their youth program when he was just 13 years old. This meant that as a young teenager, Luka was forced to leave his home and begin a new life with complete strangers. But he went willingly and threw himself into this new challenge because he knew that it was the next step in becoming a basketball great. Real Madrid had the type of facilities a rising star needed to fulfill his full potential, and as we already know, Luka would go on to become a full-time professional athlete at just 16 years old. Now, he's in the discussion to be the #1 pick in the draft, and while casual basketball fans in the United States might not realize how special Luka is yet, those that are well connected in NBA circles have already bought into the hype. Former NBA player and Real Madrid teammate of Luka Doncic, Anthony Randolph, has said, "I don't want to give him a big head, but I think he's probably one of the best talents that I've ever seen, especially at his age. He's just so versatile. I mean, the kid can near average a triple-double when he figures it out." And a European NBA scout has said, "I've been tracking him for years. My model has him as the second best player in the world outside of the NBA. If I was running a team at the top of the draft, I'd be doing everything in my power to get him." Finally, Goran Dragic, Luka's teammate on the Slovenian national team, has said, "He's a born winner. Mark my words, he's going to be one of the best in the whole world." So you can see, those that have studied Luka and are close to the situation think he's going to be an unreal talent. But with all of this said though, one question does remain. Does Luka have the athleticism needed to become a real NBA star? Because to be honest, Luka is not exactly an athletic freak, at least not in the traditional sense. He's not very fast, he's not very strong, he isn't an explosive jumper. This lack of traditional athleticism athleticism is a red flag here, and it is going to be called into question when the 2018 draft comes around. So I'm just gonna be honest here and say I don't know if Luka's athleticism is going to keep him from becoming an NBA star. What I will say is that yes, he's not a traditional great NBA athlete, but much like MVPs Steve Nash and Steph Curry, Luka is absolutely elite in other aspects of athleticism. He's got great balance, he's shifty, which allows him to create separation, and of course, he has unreal court vision and passing ability. What I'm saying is, yes, he has some weaknesses, but he also has some incredible skills that you simply cannot teach. And so personally, I cannot wait to see what Luka can do in the NBA. And so there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. We do basketball videos like this, we do NBA history, we do NBA what ifs, we look at NBA conspiracies. If it has to do with basketball and it's cool, I will make a video on it, and if you subscribe, you will not be disappointed. And if you're already subscribed, you are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, and cue that music.